Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission.
Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about another one of my very favorite shows of all time, Star Trek. Specifically, Star Trek, the original series era. Now the reason why I say era is because I would also be including Star Trek, the animated series, in there. Because Star Trek, the animated series takes place during the final year of Star Trek, the original series' 5-year voyage. And obviously it consists of 90% of the Star Trek, the original series' main cast, with basically the only exception of Chekhov, who honestly is probably my least favorite of all the main cast characters. Yeah, I would say yes. Captain! Yeah, we could do the show without you. We actually did in the very beginning, and it was great. Anyways, in this video, I'm just going to be generally talking about Star Trek, some awesome memories that I have related to Star Trek, and how I feel about Star Trek as a whole. Something that I love about Star Trek the original series, and it is only specific to Star Trek the original series, are the sets. The sets in the original series of Star Trek are amazing when it comes to either the matte paintings that are done for vast world-building backgrounds, whether it be Earth that's put in the background of the cage or the menagerie, when Captain Pike is put in the mind simulation of Earth, or in the second pilot where no man has gone before in the mining facilities. But the main thing about the sets that I've always loved since I was a kid is the sky colors. A very small part, but it's something that I always noticed. When they beam down to an alien planet in Star Trek, majority of the time, unless it's a planet that's supposed to be an M-class that is more similar to Earth, obviously all planets that they beam to in the original series are M-class, at least most of them are, with the exception of maybe a few. Most of them are not Earth-like, if that makes sense. Like, the sky is not blue like it is here. A lot of the time in Star Trek the original series, the sky is either orange or red, and I've even seen stuff like green and purple. And I love it. The sky colors in Star Trek the original series, and the fact that it's made obvious that that set is shot inside on a soundstage with a colored background, I just have always loved that. So the first Star Trek memory that I have is that I was at our beach house with my brother and my dad, and we were watching Star Trek the original series. And I remember it was probably not the first time, but one of the first times I had seen the Enterprise. The Enterprise, in my opinion, is the coolest looking ship ever devised. Definitely the coolest looking starship, as in a larger ship that would transport you from star to star. The only competitor, in my opinion, would be the X-Wing. But that's not really a starship, it's a starfighter. It's a one-man fighter. This is a starship. Definitely the coolest looking out of all of those, and I think it's probably cooler looking than the X-Wing even. But, I'm not going to go there. It's hard to say. Star Wars versus Star Trek stuff is a very touchy subject for me, and it's basically whatever I'm watching at the time is what I like more. So right now, I like the Enterprise more than the X-Wing, and Star Trek more than Star Wars, because I'm rewatching Star Trek right now, and I love it. Anyways, me and my dad and my brother watched the episode, and then after that, we went down to the beach and pretended like we had beamed down to like an ocean or beach-like planet. Playing Star Trek was one of my favorite things to do as a kid. In fact, I remember one of my really good friends from when I was young, Nick, actually loved Star Trek as well. And I'll never forget the day that I met Nick. I actually went up to him and I was talking to him for a little bit, and we both figured out that we both loved Star Trek. We were like, wait, you like Star Trek? I like Star Trek. Dude, let's play some Star Trek. And then every day at recess, we had devised some new adventure, whether it was saving some planet or retrieving some kind of artifact or dilithium crystals. Whatever the challenge was, we always knew what to do to fix it. And at the end of the video, we're actually going to be going over the stories or captain's logs that I wrote after recess when we got back to class about our Star Trek adventures. But for now, I feel like an explanation is needed. Why do I love Star Trek the original series era so much, but it seems like I don't have any merchandise from Star Trek The Next Generation? I do have some merchandise from Star Trek The Motion Picture. This is it, the USS Enterprise refit, but that's it. All the rest of my merchandise has to do with Star Trek the original series, and I suppose the expanded universe when it comes to the comics, or even some people would consider Star Trek the Animated Series an expanded universe, but I consider that canon. That's part of my headcanon for sure. And most Star Trek fans consider that as canon as well now. Gene Roddenberry said that it wasn't a long time ago, but people have changed their mind on that now. So, the first reason why I really love Star Trek the original series, and I'm not interested as much in any of the other ones, is I have grown very attached since I was a kid to the Star Trek the original series cast. Specifically, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. They make Star Trek. It's what brings the most exposition, the most heart, and the most humor to the Star Trek the original series screen. That combination of those three guys are just amazing. The chemistry is honestly better than anything else on TV at the time, or honestly ever. I think that Bones, Spock, and McCoy as characters have the best on-screen chemistry ever presented in a trio of people. But the reason why I prefer Star Trek the original series era over all other iterations of Star Trek is because of the aesthetic of the show, specifically the design of the ship and technologies that are used in the future, but designed by the past. That specifically is what is so great about it. These devices, things we use on a daily basis. 1, 2, contact the ship. And 1, 2, fend off hostile alien life. And earlier I was specifically talking about how much of an impact the original Enterprise had on me when I was a kid, how cool I thought the ship was and how cool I think it is today. Well, it's the opposite for Star Trek The Next Generation. I think the Enterprise D looks totally stupid. I hate the way that the Enterprise D looks. The way that the saucer is like almost connected to the main body, I don't like that. And then I don't like how the things that the warp nacelles are attached to, they're like at an angle instead of just being straight like on the original Enterprise. And even on the Enterprise refit, they're still straight, but they're at an angle like this. Well, the ones on the Enterprise D are literally like angled at a 90-degree angle. They go out and then they go at a 90-degree angle, and I think that looks totally stupid as well. And I don't like how they're below the saucer. I think that looks bad as well. So, like, and I know that technically it would be a more structurally sound ship. Like, that's why the warp nacelles are lower and the body is connected more to the saucer. But I don't care. We're not talking about something that's a real ship. That doesn't matter, you know? For something like that, making the ship look cool is more important, in my opinion. Because, you know, it's a sci-fi show. You're supposed to make the ship look cool. So like I said towards the beginning of the video, now we're going to take a look at some of my captain's logs from after recess. So here we have number 1, Nick as Mr. Spock, my friend Nick, and Jacob as Captain James Tiberius Kirk, with that spelled totally wrong. And then we have Live Long and Prosper, and the thumbs are actually backwards. Captain's log, stardate 1752. We are approaching planet Vulcan. And then there's the Enterprise. Oh, wow. Incoming call, sir. Put it on screen. Captain Klingon. You know you're not allowed on Starfleet property. So, Federation space. I know, but you entered my property. He's like, I did not. Kirk, and he's like, ah ha ha, Kirk. What the? Lieutenant, turn off the call. Yes, sir. Scotty, get ready to beam us down to Vulcan. Scotty, energize. Aye, sir, with 2 eyes. Oh my god, that is great. You've probably already noticed that, like, my text bubbles aren't drawn, like, in order. So the only way that I'm able to, like, read them is because I know who's supposed to talk first. And you'd be able to if you read it. Like, you'd be able to figure it out. Captain, quick, clog the exhaust pipes. Okay. And so the reason why he says clog the exhaust pipes basically is because there were these things on our playground that were like this, and you could talk through them, and then there was another one that you could like kind of hear the person through, but not very well. So anyways, but we would clog those with bark chips. That was like a lot of the missions. Anyways, so he's gonna clog faster, and he's all freaking out. He's like, okay. Phew, that was close. Spelled wrong. Klingons. So now this is when the characters get labeled because you can't tell who is who. So we got Klingon and Shield actually and Kirk. So Kirk's like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Because you entered Klingon territory." And then so the Klingon is dead. Well, glad that's over. And they have these belts on, which I think are probably what provided the shield. Yeah, that's what's going on. So that they have the life support belts like they do in Star Trek the Animated Series, I guess. Yay! Look! A Vulcan diamond! No way! So this is hilarious to me because Kirk is the one that recognizes the Vulcan diamond and instead of Spock. Spock's like, cool. Spock says cool. Awesome. We got the transporter sequence here. And it's like, we got the lines. It's kind of like the Next Generation transporter with the lines. Anyways, they're like, we're back. What's that? It's a diamond. Cool. And their life support belts are gone. They were before, actually. I didn't notice that until now. The end. There's the Enterprise again with some stuff on it, I guess. Maybe that's battle damage. Star Trek 2. Bones here is doing some experiments on the diamond, and I don't really know why, because Bones is the medical officer, as you guys know, and this is a scientific endeavor. But we also have P.S. The star date is 5265. If you remember, it was like 17 something, so it's like way more, even though it should take place like directly after, you know, or pretty soon after they're messing with the diamond, you know. Anyway, so Bones is putting a liquid on the diamond, and all of a sudden, kaboom! Oh, and he's like, ow! And his face is all stunned and his hair's blown up. Oh man. Bones comes onto the bridge and he's like, Captain, it's flammable. He's like, okay, give it to the Klingons. Tell them to put the liquid on it. So then we've got Bones on screen with the Klingon, and he's like, want this? And the Klingon's like, sure. Kaboom! And their ship explodes. And it's like, the end? With a question mark? Star Trek 3. Oh, I don't know why that's the title card. Captain's log, Stardate 5. At least it's really close to the last one. We are approaching Klingon. So now we're on Klingon, right? Energized. We're in the way different looking transporter room again. Get out your phaser with an F. Okay. Klingon, attack! And they're like shooting each other with phasers. The Klingon has a different looking gun, which is cool because it's like a disruptor, you know. This part is awesome. Captain, I sense Klingon presence. Okay, let's get him. Where? On the other side of the planet! Only a kid who played Super Mario Galaxy would think that a body of such little mass would be able to have enough of a gravitational force to attract a person.